All right, we back with another edition of In-Depth Interviews. We got special guests in the house, Sonny Boy. What's happening, bro?
Everything cool, bro. It's good to have me here. I said it wrong, eh? I mean, it's, you know what I trying to say. It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Appreciate you coming through, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, bro. It's all about the support, you know?
Real talk. So, what I want to know first is what really inspired you to start music, get into the whole music industry?
Music started off for me at a very young age. I'm talking like 5, 6, before I even started knowing myself. I had a cousin by the name of Garfield. He does rap as well, and every time when we go foreign, they lived in Chicago, so that was kind of new. He had his own little home studio, and I just used to look up to my cousin. So everything that he did, I thought it was cool and everything like that, and that's how he make music and the way he could rhyme and stuff like that. That made me say, you know what, I want to be a rapper one day too.
Real, I appreciate that story. Now, I noticed with your music, you push a certain type of music, a certain type of energy, more positive energy. So what inspires you to create that type of music specifically?
Well, the positive side of me is out now because I live a negative life. I may be young, but I did a lot of things in my past that I'm not happy about, but I would never regret it because it made me who I am today. I was the real bad boy. I was doing everything, everything, all of the crimes, you know what I mean? And, it was just because when you're growing up in a hostile environment, it's either you prey or you the predator, and I chose to be the predator. So from that on, when I started with the whole positive thing was me seeing a lot of the generation that I'm in set with and over me still doing the same thing like it's a cycle, and I just said, but I never want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I doing it now. It's all about survival, and I got to show, well, I had God, but, eventually I want to be able to settle down. I want to have a wife. I want to have kids. I want to have my own home. I don't want to be watching over my back or anything like that. So right then and then I started to change myself personally before I even had a son. And, I gave God a wish. I sit down, I talk to him. I was getting ready to do something real bad. And I probably wouldn't have been here if I did it. But I asked him to give me a sign. And right at that moment, I heard a baby crying. Within that week, I had planned out everything. As they call it, premeditated. I had planned out everything, what I was going to do, and my life is about to be over. So, my last conversation with God was, give me a sign. And from then on, I heard the baby crying, but I never, realized it. And right on that day, within the week, when I was going to go do what I was going to do, I got some news from the lady that I was dealing with. And she said that she was pregnant, So from then on, I ran from it so many times in my life, and I'm not proud of that either. But at the same time, too, I thought that, that was a new beginning for me. That was a new life because I was already dead. Nobody was going to stop it. I was already dead, So that brought my new life. And, with that, that just made me all positive and everything positive. I got my little son, he's 3 now, and, we've been doing things good, and I've been, teaching him the way. He has manners, he has respect, he know who I am, and everything that I do, he tries to mock me and he tries to follow me, and the fact that I'm doing positive now, it's kind of good because, I don't have to worry about him doing the wrong thing,
You say a lot, you see. With your relationship with God, when did you develop that and really start looking out for your signs?
Well, honestly, when I was younger, I never believed in God. I grew up in a Christian home, Well, my Grammy was a Christian. And She always tried to say, well, hey, it's all about God and stuff like that. But I was just too young to understand. I was given like ignorant questions like, if there was a God, why my boy just get killed, or why my granddaddy died, and why this happening, and why that bad thing happening, and why we living in this poverty and different other stuff like that. Until one day, I had a encounter with him myself, personally. One day, me and a fellow friend of mine, we was riding. And around that time, I was gang banging. I was gang banging hard. And how it was when we was riding, we had, some ammunition on us. We had drugs. We had 2 guns on us. We had Hennessy. It's like a normal prowl for us, because we in the hood, we spiritual, and we looking for anybody who have a problem, and right then and there we was passing this church. And I wanted to test him out, to see where his mind was, For some reason, something just say, ask him. And I say, bro, let's ride to church, And he said, all right, let's ride. And so, me knowing that I was only joking with him, I turn around, pull up in the church. When we go into the church, we come with the car, we go into the church, go into the door, and that was my stop Pete. That was like, all right, that was it. That's all I wanted to prove. But he was ready, and he actually walked into the church, and I said, this boy really getting in the church. And how he was dressed alone, it was like, we had on like our gear, like he was gang banging, so it's a certain name that I don't want to call because I don't live that life no more. But you could have seen what we was dealing with. And we walked into the church. Right at that second, the pastor completely stopped everything what he was talking about and tell us to come to the stand. And right at that moment, we got out on black gloves. As this pastor started to pray for us, I literally felt something touch me. Like, it wasn't a human being. I don't know what it was, but I felt the power of God, And when it touched me, I just started crying. It was like, I never cried. Like, I never shed a tear, Never smiled. It was nothing like that, until that one day. And when he touched me, he made me get on my knees. Like, I literally dropped on my knees. And I was in a kneeling position. Like, I was praying. And believe it or not, I was trying to get up. I was trying my hardest to get up. And nobody was touching me. And I felt it so real because it felt like somebody was literally holding me down as I tried to get up. And that's how I know, God is real. From then on, it was like, wow. And then the gloves that we had on started to get hot. Like, it started to feel like fire was on my hand for some reason, And, I ended up taking off the glove and throwing it, and then, as the pastor was praying, the whole church started praying for us. And I was crying. I was like trying to figure out, like, Tug Life me, where all this tears coming from, like where all of this hurt coming from. After that, I didn't go back to church. I was kind of scared, because I felt like a real spirit, But, from then on, it was just greatness. Everything, most of the best things started happening to me, including my son. And, that's where I got the belief from.
So what I want to know is, why is it important for you now, and what are some ways that you plan on taking, some steps that you plan on taking to break that cycle between you and your son, and that cycle of violence and predator-prey mentality?
Well, the first thing any father should do to have a say in anything is firstly be there. Don't just be a daddy. Anybody could be a daddy. Anybody could be a stepdaddy. Anybody could take that role. But the first thing is being a father, being there, quality time, not bringing money and just dropping it there and different other stuff like that. That's the first thing. And how I tend to break the cycle is, continue to be in his life. Discipline him, show him what's right from what's wrong. Spoil them at the same time too, but let them know that there are consequences. Let them know exactly how I live, and I don't sugarcoat nothing. Let them know the hard times. If you do decide to make the wrong decision, and just, continue to do it. Stay elevated with it, and be persistent with it. Because the minute when you decide to fall off and think about somebody else, that's when he gonna decide to do, or she's gonna decide to do that one wrong thing, and it could, injure them for the rest of their life.
If you could talk to yourself in the past, if yourself now had a chance to talk to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
Well, knowing myself back then, he wasn't hearing nothing, But I would have tell me, you were very bright, you were very smart, and don't be an opportunist. Don't be like everybody else, because at the end of the day, it's up to you what you really want to do. And knowing me back then, I always had dreams. I had dreams, but the fact that how I was living was like, I said I wanted to be a rapper. And when I graduated or grade 6, the only time I ever graduated, I had in my yearbook a rapper. But then because of the system and everything that happens in the system, it kind of teach you to like do something different. Like, it's impossible to be a rapper, So, I had to just tell myself, you know what, the sky's the limit. Be yourself and believe in yourself. You got to start believing in yourself before someone else could believe in you.
All right. Now I like this shirt. I like how it blinging and everything. You know what I mean?
School flow.
School flow. So tell me about it, bro.
Yeah, my school flow came along from somewhat of my past. Eventually, when I started changing around my life, I was selling drugs, and I had this one guy that came to me to buy some dope, and right at that moment, he was telling me, you know what, you ain't gotta be doing this no, bro. And from then on, he said, man, look here, tomorrow morning, be here, same time, same spot. So I was there thinking he was probably gonna put me on a play or something like that. I wasn't thinking that he was gonna actually help me like that. But he carried me on the job. He carried me on the construction site, straight off the block. He carried me on the construction site, and he teach me how to strip a wire. So right then and then, I automatically fell in love with the trade, electrical. I did electrical installation, electrical engineering. I worked on a lot of different other places and stuff like that. So I still was trapping, but at the same time too, I had my own money I was making on the side. I was, whatever profit I made, I just buy some more dough to profit it to use for what I wanted to do. So I took that money, I went to BTVI and enrolled myself in school. So even though it was drug money, I did something good with it. But it went from there. The electrical trade and everything else. And I had this thing where even though I was paying my money for school, I still was failing. I was failing in primary school and in junior school, but I still was failing. Now that I'm kind of growing, I still failing but paying my own money. So now I understand how mommy feels when she's saying, oh, I ain't sending you to school to do this and do this. I paying all type of money. So I felt that. And because it was my money, I said, you know what, I gotta do something. I can't get an next F in my book. I can't get an next D in my book. So I started studying. I stopped staying on the blocks. I started studying hard. Like even if I could just sit outside and be to myself, or sometimes I used to go sit in the bushes and actually try to do some homework and get some work done and like really go over my notes and stuff like that. So after that, I went to school. It was a early Monday, yawning as usual, going to the homeroom block in BTVI. And as the teacher came into the class, Mrs. O'Brien from BTVI, as the teacher came into the class, she started to give out the books. My head was on the desk, and I was just looking at this book saying, I can't get a next F. I swear if I get a next F, I just want to quit. So luckily I didn't. I started flipping through the page. Right? And looking at all the other F's that I had until I came up to the updated work. So when I came to the updated work, I started flipping through some A's. A here, B there, A here, A here. So I was so excited. I was so excited. And look me in my face when I said this. I was excited. Like a grown person was excited to get A's because it never used to happen for me. I was always like a 1-point student, 2-point the most, and I literally jump up and I was like, yeah, this is what they talking about. This is what they talking about. And I was like, if you don't get an A's, you ain't popping. If you don't get an A's, you ain't popping. And for that whole day, that whole entire day, I was walking up to people's faces. If you ain't getting A's, you ain't popping. If you ain't getting A's, I was getting in the cafeteria. If you ain't getting A's, you ain't popping. Thanks for my chicken. But if you ain't getting A's, you ain't popping. I was on the road, getting on the bus. If you ain't getting A's, you ain't popping. If you ain't getting A's, I did that so much until my voice went hoarse for that day. And that's just how excited I was. I always said that I would make a song about the excitement that I had. That's why in the song I have early Monday, I'm yawning. 9 o'clock homeroom, boring. I look in my book, all I see is A's. Flexing through the page, got me in a rage. Had to scream it out loud, but it getting A's. I am so proud, no more flunking days. The teacher even called me mommy, let him out the cage. I am certified, sitting in the days. I ain't girl on the block where the bubby lunch. Cause brothers getting short and they stumbling. 10 toes down there in my book studying. Mommy mean to wop me up cause I was stuttering. Now look at me, who? I ain't worrying. I catching up in class, I was slunking. I ain't trying to follow friends, I am chosen. So we can sing a song for y'all who joking. If you ain't getting this, you ain't popping. And that's what really let the song be what it is, And now that I'm doing music, I was like, come on, bro, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. And it took off from there. Now, it's a torch to the school, Sonny Boy, coming to a school near you, and just wait for it.
So, what's the reception been like from the students that you perform? Now, I see it's a very energetic song. So, how they received it?
Yeah, well, the students, I went to H.O. Nash. I went to H.O. Nash today. Shout out to H.O. Nash. Shout out to Ministry of Education, Mr. Sands, Mr. Markfee for making this happen for me. And yeah, the students, they love it, because it was a song playing. It was a different artist, a song playing first. And I thought that the kids could have been more hyped. So I went there, I like to dance. I was busting the moves, getting jiggy, busting the little muggle and the muggle, and they was like, they just saw me as that bright person for the day. So from then went on, when they said, hey, welcome in Sonny Boy, everybody started screaming and whatnot, and I gave them a little introduction about me. I felt like it could have been a little bit more raw and really tell them more of my story, but I only had a little bit of time, so I just wanted to give them just a peek of what's really going on and what I was doing there, But as I started to sing the song, the kids started muggling, they was moving, everybody was having fun, and the teachers just looked inspired. They was like, wow, this is like the face of the Bahamas right now. School flow, what? The kids love it, so it was great. It was great. The energy was exciting, and everybody had a good time. After that, when I finished, everybody's like, if you ain't getting this, you ain't popping. If you ain't getting this, you ain't popping. Everybody picking up school flow. The kids want to take a picture with Sonny Boy. Make me feel like a role model. So that's a good thing about it. I inspired the kids. That's what's good.